What's up, rays of sunshine, soul path warriors? Thank you for joining me today. I'm going to do a quick video because I'm still sore. My face is swollen, and it's just been a hard week. But I have something important I want to talk about today, okay? And it's about being genuine. What does being genuine mean? Genuity, right? What does it mean to be genuine? And why is it important for the ascension, especially, or for these times right now? What is the significance according to God? So that's what we're going to talk about today really quickly. For those who don't know me, my name is Juniper Bloom Mystique. I am an ascension master, a master healer, and a divine guide. And I'm going to do my best to talk, okay? I've had some work done, and so it's a little painful. To be genuine, first of all, is outside of ego, right? So let's put it this way. You are either working through the genuine space of you, or you are working through ego, more than likely, okay? So being genuine truly means that you are coming from your truths, your abilities, your capabilities, your knowing, your understanding of the world around you. Being genuine comes from the heart center, all right? So, as a creator, as an artist, I am purely genuine. As a healer, as a master healer, I am pure genuine. So I personally, and I teach this in my academy as well, I don't teach people to go by a book. I don't teach people to do things the same way every time. I teach you the way I do them as a master. That is to be genuine, to be a pure channel, to not have expectations, to go in and allow your light, your intuition, your abilities to guide you, right? Not by how others do things, not by how we think they should go. Those are not genuine, okay? I don't do research before I do things. Usually it's a nudge, and I go with the flow. And if I make so-called mistakes, which I don't believe in that word, it's an effort, and every effort applies mean that I'm going to be better and better and better the next time, right? I've had so many people tell me like, whoa, do this right and try this next time. It's like, wait a minute, that was my first time. I got this, right? Like everything we do, we pick up knowledge. Everything we do, we get better. But if we don't allow ourselves to be genuine to where we are at that moment in time, we will never learn. We will never be able to get better. Okay? So even when I do healings and messages, I do them live all the time, and I don't want to know anything about you. That's genuine, right? Because genuinely, what you need, your heart's desires, Spirit is aware of that. It's in your heart space. So as a true healer and a true reader, I can genuinely tune into what you need, right? I know what your heart needs. I know what Spirit says you need because I genuinely tune in. I tune into that space that is outside of ego. It is genuine. It is pure light, okay? So as a teacher in my Light Healers Academy, I expect everybody else to do the same. If you cannot tune into your heart center and be genuine through what comes through, it's a vulnerability to be that way, by the way. It's not the easiest thing to do, okay? Because you won't know, and it changes every time. You have to trust. You have to be able to believe in yourself. You have to be able to trust that whatever comes through is meant to be what's coming through. Most people are working through ego where they need validations. They need to know, right? The expectations. They want to know what's coming through. They want to know what it means. But the thing about that is it's not always for you, right? When you're delivering for others, you're not going to know the full meaning of it. You're going to have to trust. You have to believe in you. You have to trust in your abilities, number one, okay? You have to trust that what you get is genuine, what you get is real, but it has to come from a space of genuineness and realness, right? So if you're not being real, how are you going to trust it? Okay? So as an artist, so I don't want to jump around too much, but doing healings, doing messages for others, I teach in a way where I bring you to the fullness of your heart space. I teach you how to tune in. I teach you all the tools you need to connect, to remain connected, self-help, spiritual awareness, spiritual wellness, right? At a master level. Your level, though, is you working through it, okay? So you only get to mastery when you do the work to get there. But there is no book, and there shouldn't be a book. We should know the lays of the land, right? How we affect each other. Everything affects one another. We should come from a place of truth and trust and honesty, genuineness. And so if you're working through those things, then there should be no reason what you're getting is true, right? If you're working from a space of honesty and trust and light and transparency, but also being genuine. So you don't want to pretend to be something you're not. I remember when I had my awakening, everybody knew who I was before I did, because when I was first united with my twin soul, everybody could see me. When he separated from me and I battled for that part of my soul and he left, people have a harder time seeing it. That's why the DM is so important, by the way. But I would have people come to me with these odd requests, and it wasn't right. Like, I remember one time I had somebody ask me specifically. They're like, hey, I have this guy I really like coming over, and I want to deliver a message, but I'm not very confident in my abilities. I don't think she said those words, but she wanted me to give him a message for her to give him, as if it was her giving it to him, right? Does that make sense? So she wanted to be able to give him a channel or a card message or a card read, but not from her source, from me. And she was going to pretend like it was from her. And I couldn't do it. I'm like, that's outside number one of the light, right? That is not being genuine. So pretending to be something you're not, or being worried that you need to be like somebody else, is not genuine. Okay? It takes all of the pieces, right? Everybody's genuineness to create the whole. Okay, so each person that is a fragment of God has their own gifts, their own strengths. We all have the same capabilities, but they all have their own gifts and their own strengths that are heightened because it takes all of them, right? We're all fragmented pieces. And when we shine that light, we create the wholeness. Okay, make sense? So if I'm being genuine to my soul, my abilities, my gifts, that means I'm growing. I'm working through them every day. I'm accepting challenges. I'm being honest with myself where I am right now. If I don't feel like I'm very good at card messages, I better be practicing those. Because the more I practice them, the better I'm going to get. Right? We can always find ways. There's always ways to do it. We pull for ourselves. There's little games and tests that you can do on yourself. There's all kinds of things. But if I'm going to pretend to be something I'm not, or if my ego tells me that I need to be better than where I'm at right now in order to be good enough, that is not genuine. Because Spirit says start where you are. Meet yourself right where you are. Okay? So if she didn't feel confident in delivering the messages, what should she have done? Not come to somebody else to pretend to do them for her. That is not of the light. Okay? There are many others out there who use the light for their gain, but they're not genuine. And I know a lot of them, but I'm not going to name names. There's no reason to do that. And if you follow somebody who's not genuine, they're taking from others. They're faking it, right? In a big way. It's not genuine. It's not coming from their heart space. It's not coming from their guides, their abilities, their knowledge. It's fake. It's shadow. Okay? So if you follow somebody who's not genuine, if you get messages and healings from somebody who's like working through a shadow and who's not truthful and not genuine, if they can't tune in on their own and get those messages on their own, if they're using outside sources, if they didn't get there on their own through their genuine connection, they're blinding you. Okay, it's kind of dangerous. Those are energies you don't want to play with, especially right now in the ascension, because you don't want to work through somebody else's shadow. That's why God says right now, you need to be within, okay? You have to be genuine to you. So even as an artist, there are so many people who will look to others' art and get inspiration or whatever they want to call it. I don't do that. There's a reason I won't do that. My art when I first started was not the best. I didn't even paint, right? Like when I first started this journey, when I was doing the Return of Christ work, Spirit would give me downloaded images. I do creative art workshops because they help us upgrade our senses. They help us connect to higher frequencies. Part of being genuine, there is a creative side to you, whatever that means for you. Okay, so they are important. They're very important, and they help unblock energy. So I've been doing those from the beginning. And at the time, I didn't realize that my paintings were going to actually align with the Return of Christ. I have a 7D portal painting. I have twin flame union paintings. I have the Nile painting, and right now I'm working on the New Earth one. Okay, and they all channeled through at those particular times of my journey. I even have a twin flame union one for Sekhmet and Horus, and I did it. It came through before the event, and I didn't know the correlation yet. Okay, so they're very important. And the first one sucked. They were not very good, but I was still proud of them. I still gave the effort. I was genuine to myself, right? So I didn't even look like, how do other people do this? I didn't get references from anywhere else. I would look at the image in my heart that was given to me, and I would do my best to put it on canvas. And in the 7D portal one, I couldn't get it right. And I was like, okay, I can't get this portal. Like, I can't get it. And so I literally asked them, and it came from the Pleiadians. When I did the 7D portal workshop, I got that, and it's to help somebody heal their way through. But I asked them, I'm like, Spirit, I don't know what to do. And I literally got a download, a vision of what to do and how to do it. And I followed that guidance, and it's like, I love that painting. It's one of my favorite paintings ever. Okay, and it was a gift for doing the work. But if I use somebody else's insight, use somebody else's way of doing things, it wouldn't have been genuine to my art. It wouldn't have been genuine to my creation, my purpose with it, and the healing purpose for it for others. Okay, so I can't heal you 100% if I'm not genuine. I don't have to be like anybody else. I need to be like me. I need to know what I'm capable of, and the only way to do that is to be genuine to my capabilities. To trust that everything is purposeful, every non-perfection. There is no such thing as perfection. That's ego. Okay, so again, you're either being genuine or you're working through ego and shadow. There's only two ways. And if you cannot produce art genuine to you, even if it sucks, you can't deliver a message genuine to you either as a pure channel. Okay, so everything we should do should come from our heart space. It should be genuine to our abilities, because if we don't, we won't get better. Number one, we won't learn anything. We won't get better. We won't grow as a soul. We won't be able to tune in deeper to spirit. Okay, and just like I teach in my other courses in my academy, it's like when communicating with spirit. When you see numbers and the frequencies, right, like the synchronicities, and you Google them and you use just that general message, it is not genuine to your space. Okay? Everybody's journey is unique, and we're in different places, and spirit uses tools that are common to help us learn how to genuinely communicate with them. Okay? So there is a general source that you can use, like how to build a course, right? Or this and that and the other. But if you're copying the way somebody else does it and it's not genuine to you, you're lying. You're not being genuine. You're working through ego or shadow or fear or judgment, right? Because boy, if I'm not perfect, then people won't like me. I don't want people to judge me. Let them judge you. No matter what you do, somebody's going to have an opinion. But those are not of God. Those are the ones being a spectator, not an observer. And that doesn't matter. Okay, they're working through their shadow. It's okay. You have to be genuine to you. You have to be. This is why I don't need to know anything about you to work with you. I don't want to know anything about you to work with you, because I then cannot validate your needs better. Spirit cannot validate what you need through me. I'm no longer a vessel. I'm an ego trying to be better than the next, or trying to make you like me, or trying to prove something. But If I come from that vulnerable space of genuinity, being genuine to my abilities, to trusting who I am, to trusting what I get, it's not easy. That's the harder way to go, because it's not ego. You have to love yourself. You have to trust yourself. You have to know. You have to believe, right, that you're worthy, you're capable. And the more you do that, the more you trust, the more genuine you are. Dude, I've seen some mind-blowing messages and healings over the years. I'm talking mind-blowing. People would be like, how did you know that? I didn't tell you anything. That was their name. This was that. It's so validating. It's so wonderful. It's so healing on so many levels. So even through art, right? No matter what you do, if you're not genuine to your gifts and abilities, it's not going to be a genuine healing and a genuine message being received. You're going to be playing in shadow and fear and ego, and you're going to be giving them some of that too. Okay? A lot of people I see will be like, email me your questions, email me what you want to know. I don't do that. Do not ever. I tell you, don't do that. If you want to work with me, book a session. And then when it's all done, I ask questions in the end. And never have I had any question come through that did not come through in the healing in some way, shape, or form. That's genuine. And that kind of validation is priceless. That kind of healing, right? Like I go into people's bodies or even animals and I do healings. And in the end, they're like, yeah, they did have this and they did have that. How did you know? That's how you know it's real. Okay, not by reading a book, not by looking at how others do it and try to copy them. Do not ever do that, because we don't need another them. We need you. We don't need another this style and this style or this type of creation. We need what's in you, because it takes all the unique pieces to create the whole. Right? We don't want to create art that's already out there. Maybe I do arm my art differently. And at first, it was pretty darn crappy. But I'm so proud of them. And I can look back and go, wow. I remember the first healing wand I did. Spirit said, do this. And it was out of clay. And I'm like, okay. And I didn't know anybody who did it that way. It didn't make sense to me, but I just trusted. So I grabbed some clay. I channeled the crystals and what the purpose of it was. And I mushed them together and got what I got. It was my very first healing wand. It's not right here. But I'll show you the next ones that came through later, okay? My very first healing wand. I wish it was right here because it was not pretty. The guy that I was with at the time, it was supposed to be my DM, but it wasn't, because he kept kind of running, and I didn't understand that. So I was like, whatever. So at the time, many years ago, the guy that I was with, his name was Sean, and he was like, you're going to create those? And I was like, dude, it was my first one. Like, how can you expect perfection? Perfection is a lie, okay? Make those yuckinesses. Make those crappy pieces. Make those ones you're going to look back and go, what? I did that? Because then 5 years from now or 3 years from now, you're going to make the most beautiful pieces, okay? My very first candles were not perfect. I learned and learned and learned, okay? There is no perfection. There is mastery. Perfection doesn't come from genuine spaces. Mastery does. Okay? So do you want to be perfect through ego, or do you want to master who you are? This one's my new DMs. It's one of my favorites. Isn't it beautiful? I love these. And then I took them a step further and I started making healing wands into swords. Okay? So, you know, the very first healing one I did, I wish I had it with me right now. It did not look like these. It did not. Okay? It did not. But I love these. I love how beautiful they got. And it was after maybe 100 of them, right? Maybe 20 of them, maybe 10 of them. It didn't matter. But each time I would try, I would learn something. Each time I would try, I would grow. Not to mention, each time you're genuine and you listen to those heart nudges, you get stronger in your communication with spirit. Those number synchronicities do not always align to what you need. You have to know the way spirit communicates you. with you, because it's going to be different for you than it is for others. There is a general way to do things, okay? And that's what I teach in my Light Healers Academy, is how to master you, how to master your energy, your abilities, your ability to be the pure channel, right? And to know how and all of that stuff. And then it is up to you to do the work to master who you are and your strengths and your beauty, okay? So as an artist, when I do the art workshops and things, this last one was pretty intense. Spirit gave us a downloaded image, and it was up to us to create them. And that's how I get my images. That's how I get the work that I do, is I get a download, I get a knowing, and it goes along with the work that I do for the Return of Christ or as a healing master, okay? So everything I do is about spellcasting and healing and knowing, filled with the light of the One. It's very powerful, very potent. But that's because I'm genuine. And my first creations sucked. You know, they weren't perfect. When I first started making the clay wands, they broke a lot, but they were meant to. Because once they filled their purpose, they were done. All right? But over the years, I've developed them to become stronger, and now I've turned them into epoxy wands as well. But I still make these too. You know, so there's purposes for everything we do. Even if we don't see the meaning of it right away, it's going to teach you something. It's going to strengthen your abilities. It's going to help you develop your genuineness from your heart center. Okay, so if you're trying to become a better artist and you're looking at the way other people do it, that's your ego. That's shadow, and it's going to blind you. Okay, you will never develop into the artist that you are. We don't need people doing the same things the same ways. And even if you put a new spin on it, you're still taking from something that's already out there. But if Spirit has nudged you to do something, especially as a healer, because everything we do is about helping people and healing them in truth. If Spirit's nudging you to do something, they want you to do it from the genuineness that is within you. So you'll go in your heart center and you'll get an image and you will just create it. And if it sucks, let it suck. Do it again. And if that one sucks, go, you know, I don't like that. I want to master this. I want to get better at this. Right? But I don't want you to ever copy. We don't need 10 of them. We need one of you. It takes you and you and you and you to shine your light uniquely and genuinely to you, to create the whole. It takes you and you and you and you and me to stand up and say, I'm allowed to be unique and different and have my beliefs. It's not a conspiracy theory, right? We can tell the world is different, right? We have to live genuine now. We cannot live as a collective sheeple, right? We have to live as a unique people. Every bit of uniqueness, every bit of light you shine helps to create the balance and love of the whole. So if God gives you a gift, and maybe your gift, it's somebody else does that, but it's not going to be the way you do it. I remember when I had my awakening, God was like, create Hertz music, do this. I'm like, other people do that. He's like, do a YouTube channel. It's like, but there's so many of them. He said, but yours is going to be different. And I didn't know at the time that I was the Return of Christ. I didn't know at the time that I was going to be activating pyramids and recording them and uploading them to my channel. I had no idea. None. And if he would have told me that back then, I would have put myself in a mental institution. Because that ain't normal. You see what I'm saying? So it took little piece by little piece for me to get there. It took little piece by little piece, and then I would look back and go, oh my God, look what just happened. Look what just came through. That's why God did that. But if I wasn't genuine to my unique path, my unique abilities, even my unique yuckinesses that develop into something pretty, I wouldn't be who I am today. I wouldn't be able to draw the way I do today. I wouldn't have 3 oracle decks now out. I wouldn't have the abilities to do the things that I do. I wouldn't have the mastery in me because I mastered my abilities. Okay, but then even when you master something, you got to keep going. We're never done. There's always something to develop and learn and grow, right? So if you paint something the first time and you don't like it, it's because you need to practice. You need to keep going. You need to say, okay, Spirit, Show me how to do this, right? Like, I want to make this perfect. How can I do this? And you have the ability to tune in deeper, to become that clear channel so that you can hear spirit clearly. You can see the messages, and trust that you're going to get there. Trust that this one might be yucky and I throw that away, or I don't show anybody that one. I should show you some of my very first pieces, y'all. Like, seriously. Seriously. They were not like sellable. You know what I mean? And even my candles now, I can look back and go, man, if I only knew now what I knew then. If I only knew then what I knew now. But how could I? It was about learning and being genuine to my abilities. So every time you create something and it's not quite up to your standards, you're going to get better if you keep trying for your abilities, for your genuineness. If you go to deliver messages and it's scary, keep going. I'm going to tell you something right now. I've been doing it for 6 years now, since my awakening. And it don't matter. Anytime I get a new client, I'm like, oh, but Jesus, right? Like, whoo-wee, the nerves come in. They never stop because we care. That's a good sign. It means you care. You want to do well, and that's okay. So when those nerves come in, it's knowing how to master your emotions, master your body, be the clear channel that you can be, and just simply trust. You can also set the intention that it's going to be amazing and you're going to blow their mind. And then watch what happens. You are powerful, you are beautiful, you are purposeful, you are unique, and you are a unique light to the creative whole. And without your genuineness and your differences and your own abilities, we are not whole. So if God says you're going to do something that other people do, it still should be unique to you. Don't follow what they do. A lot of people will be like, hey, Bree, hey, JBM, look at this video, and I won't do it. Unless Spirit sends me something as part of a message to give you, I won't look at certain things because I don't want the energy. I don't need the implant in my head, right? Everything I do is genuine. It's a pure channel. Comes directly from my heart space or source. And unless Spirit puts something on my lap to show you guys, I won't look at it because I don't want to contaminate. Just like when I used to do missing people, unless it was something that was majorly out there, I didn't study it either. Like, I wouldn't look into the case prior. I would channel from Spirit first, and then I'll look into the case after. And I'll be like, whoa, and it helps validate what I got. And I'm like, oh, jeez, man, why can't people see this? Like, I was spot on, right? But sometimes what I get doesn't align with what they tell you, because they don't always tell the truth. So looking throughout history to discover who you are, you will never know the full you, because history is a lie. So you have to be genuine to your knowing, genuine to working within your heart space. God will show you. But you can believe the whole theories of crazinesses, or you can know that you are mentally healthy, you are mentally stable. Things are not normal. And you can receive those validations, true validations, when you show up, you have strength and vulnerability, and you are genuine to you. That is the only way you are going to be validated truthfully and fully. Not through external people, through God, through light, through spiritual sources, through being genuine. True validations come from being genuine and from finding strength and vulnerability, to putting yourself out there without the expectation that you have to be as good as others. What you see others do, it usually took them a long time to get there. Okay? So be genuine to you. Being genuine is honest, it's love, it's heart-centered, and is true. You are either genuine or you are working through shadow and ego, which pretty much are one and the same. Is it fear? Is it ego? You got to be better than somebody. You need a title like somebody else. Or is it genuine to who you are and what Spirit guides you through? And is it Spirit guiding you? Or is it the shadow in your head? Does it feel vulnerable? If it does feel vulnerable, you're probably on the right path. Be genuine, my friends. We need the uniqueness of the genuinity that is within you. So much love. Till next time.